After delving further into patients' accounts, I became more aware of the bizarre array of affections we contain here. I'll be honest, I never really saw the patients as people before. Crazy is a label that immediately dehumanizes someone, cutting them off from any sympathy or understanding. There's one girl, for instance, who refuses to talk to anyone unless she's allowed to feel their temples for nerve fibers first, whatever that means. Other than that, she has some mild paranorma. She seems completely mild paranorma. She seems completely aware and normal. But before, it was easy to write her off as just another crazy patient. I wonder what she's thinking. She's refused to give any explanation for her behavior. The more I read their accounts, the more I realize that these are real people, affected by torture beyond mundane imagination. Last night, reading while on the break, one man's word caught my attention. I know him. He's constantly depressed, relies and drained. But now I think that underneath all that, he may be like any of us. He's just pained by this thing that grabs. Fine, I'll tell you. Just no more shocks. You promise no more shocks if I tell you? Doesn't make a difference anyway. I know how it started. It's obvious now when I think back. I was on the street walking with friends. We were drinking and heading for the next bar when some weird, disgusting guy with desperate eyes bumped into me. He smiled like sweet and he smelled like sweat and something else. But he spilled something on me. It got on my hand, on my fingernails specifically. It was blood. He spilled blood on me. He froze. He seemed horrified and sad. I'm sorry, he said. I believed him, but I didn't know what he was sorry for. He ran. Disgusted, I cleaned it off and tried to forget about it. Nothing happened for a while. Oh God, I remember every detail of that night. Laying by myself in my crappy little apartment. Oh, how I miss it. It's a palace compared to your care. I woke up just before it happened. I gazed at the dark ceiling, feeling strange. And then I was curled up in pain. Too shocked to even scream. I remember staring at it, not yet understanding how screwed I was. This long, bloody blade thing was sticking out from my shin. Where'd it come from? Did someone stab me? I didn't understand. I reached for my phone, but seized with pain again, and as the blade moved, another long white razor-like thing shot out, and the two separated, slicing an open line in my shin. I had some visions of the razors continuing, slicing me into sections from the inside. Now I almost wished it had. I didn't have much time to panic. The slicing stopped. I stared, clutched my leg. Four more blood puncturing jointed from the two, and then it slid out. Shaking, numb from shock and pain and panic, I felt a small relief that I wasn't about to be carved up. And then that consensual vanished. As I realized something living had just crawled out of my shin bone. Dripping with my blood, it scanned the room with 6 pearly eyes. Seemingly carving from bone. It stood on 6 razor-like legs. The blades from the encrypted my skin. About 2 feet high, it was much like a spider. Unexpected, it said. It had no mouth. How did it speak? Unexpected. I asked, numb and terrified. Who are you? Trembling and on the verge of tears, I just wanted to go away. Nobody important. That was the wrong answer. It jabbed a leg back in my exposed shin bone. neatly avoiding the separated flesh and streaming blood. I felt a sharp jab in my chest. I understood and politically horrified. That this creature, Razor's leg entered my tibia, but emerged from one of my ribs. A blade point pressed against my heart from the inside. Please, I begged, sweat running down my eyes. I'll do anything you say. I'll do it. Just don't kill me. Acceptable, it replied. It withdrew its leg, and the pain in my chest went with it. You will do as I instruct, or die in inmost pain. Yes, that's fine, I choked out, sobbing. I climbed back into my exposed bone, and then it was gone. Having given me no instructions, I went to the hospital and got my leg sewn up, claiming it was an accident, and it seemed I had my life back. I was wrong. Slid out between my stitches, and a few nights later, dismayed but ready, I made sure to memorize everything I could about it. Spinally, deadly, and was strangely beautiful in an irony and insect sort of way. Somebody had to know about this. Gave me orders, made me do things. Started with small crimes. It wanted them done in a specific manner, with convincing evidence left behind for reasons I wasn't told. It directed me to dangerous criminal locations. Through other people were the least of my concerns by then. One of the other slaves gave me a long animal bone treated with that special blood, and it often made me bring the bone to shady locations. It would emerge from that bone and converse with someone aware of it, able to defend from it. Someone I needed to make a deal with for its purpose. I never saw him. It jabbed a leg back into my exposed bone, neatly avoiding the separation, flesh and stream bone. I doubted he would help me, even if I found him. I gave up hope after many failed nights of searching for an answer or help. I'd beaten people, mugged them, held up a convenience store at knife point. It even made me go to the curse. Even made me get the cursed blood up on this guy's fingernails. And I had to watch as he was slowly separated into sections by pointing razor legs. His hand falling to the floor, his legs popping out of the knee by a rotting slice, screaming, begging, pleading. It tortured him to death for information I didn't understand. And it made me pick up his pieces and dispose of them. Oh, God. Whenever I wasn't on assignment, it turned to other ways to direct myself from the I turned to other ways to distract myself from the pit of darkness and despair welling up inside me. My brother found me on the street after a few months of this. I remember every detail of that too. You have to come home, he insisted. We'll get you off the drugs, clean you up. Dad'll get you a job. Drugs aren't the problem, I remember shouting at him. They're the only thing keeping me from losing my mind. It's the bone walker. As I said those words, a sharp jab hit me underneath my left shoulder blade. The next scratched the side of my right lung. I realized it was watching me. The message was clear. If I told anyone, it would carve me up inside out. Get out of here, I screamed at him, feeling every bit the same now as the disgusting and desperate man who'd bumped into me. You can't help me. Go away. I hit the hard drugs even harder then. At some point, I was drained of everything. Even resembling my old self. And I decided not to do it anymore. Even if it meant death at its beast. I bought a rifle, trained it in its use. It wanted to kill somebody important. But when it came with the name and plan, I would refuse. I wondered how it would do it. Would it stab inward from my skull, killing me instantly? Or would it slice from each of my bones, carving me up slowly like a poor man? Like that poor man. I stared at the gun, wondering if it would go after my family if I refused. Did I really have a choice? Could I sacrifice my brother too? And my parents? I'd had to make the bone walkers think it wasn't my fault. I called and left an anonymous tip. I sat there, filled with relief and calm, as they surrounded me and put me on the handcuffs. Sat in custody, unstable, caught by the police. When the bone walker came, it would have no reason to punish my family. It would just kill me. And that was that. But it never came. I mean, I know why it didn't return now, but I'm broken and I'm stuck in here any case. And I keep thinking, what if there was more? What if they came for me someday? Because I know there will be no warning. It could come at any time. Just a sharp, sliding sensation. Then I'd be dead. The thing that captivates me most about his account is that it's very similar to some raving left by a man who died horribly a while back. He was mutilated in some unmanageable ways, as if his face had been torn off from the inside. Among other things, his story made the news, and they figured I was a serial killer responsible for several similar horrifying deaths. But the man claimed that as his last act, he managed to destroy the creature. I suppose this man must have read about the prior man's issues and formed an obsession or delusion about it. I find it curious and how contagious crazy seems to be, and seemingly more of so these days. I started wondering if the place is truly run to help these people, or whether it was really just here to contain them, like quarantine for the plague.